Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get to week 19, I have a new camera. Hopefully you all think it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. I'm checking it out now on my computer, and I think it looks pretty good. But now let's get back to something else looking good. Fantasy baseball. As the season does wind down, the hopes and dreams that we've had this entire year hopefully don't come crashing down. We have to keep in mind that there's still some baseball left, and regardless of where my Yankees sit right now, there's still a chance. But you know who else has a chance? The Cheese Weasels. We have been on the down and out for the past few weeks. However, this week we made a change. Something happened. We hit a lot of home runs. We're sitting in the 6th spot with 81.5 points. One of those home runs came from Trey Turner. Another one came from Taylor Ward. We had 2 from Mr. Ernie Clement, and another 2 from Spencer Torkelson, and 3 from Big Bear Marcell Ozuna. That was a great pickup surprise. He's going to be on here a little later. Some of the standout performances I want to hit on include Trey Turner, who went 6 for 23. He had 3 runs scored. He did hit the home run like we talked about before. He had 6 RBIs and also 6 walks. And then Ernie Clement, we did not start him one day where he had a home run and he went 2 for 4 and a run and RBI or something like that. So we're going to take those away. When we did start him, he went 10 for 26. 2 home runs, only 3 RBIs. Let's get some more ducks on the pond, man. He also had 8 runs. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're talking about players in the surging Blue Jays offense. Now let's move on over to pitching. Tyler Glasnow had 2 starts. One of them was pretty good to start the week. The other one, not so good. So when we say good start, we're strictly talking about the one at the beginning of the week. We also had a great start, a gem, if you will, from Mr. Paul Skeens. 8 strikeouts and a win with a 0.00 ERA. What's up? Also, Brandon Woodruff got a win and I believe another 8 strikeouts. So that was pretty good. He has definitely come on strong since he returned from, I think it was thoracic outlet syndrome, or not syndrome, but surgery or shoulder impingement. Anyway, he's done really well. We had a hold from Jared Koenig and 3 holds from Mr. Abner Uribe. We also had saves from Pete Fairbanks, Randy Rodriguez, and 2 from Emilio Pagan. However, as we do continue to go with relievers, Randy Rodriguez had a blown save for us, so come on, dog. Another pitcher who is not living up to expectations for their new team, Adrian Hauser. However, I'm also not living up to my expectations of trying to be a good fantasy manager because I didn't start Zach Neto as he got a home run against Tarek Skubal, which wasn't anticipating it. Also missed a home run by Ernie Clement, so that is what it is. However, there are a few guys that have either been hurt or just been ice cold to the plate. One of them being Mr. Sal Frelick. Frelick. Your knee's hurting, man. Your hamstrings tight. Like, come on, man. Need you to be in the lineup and need you to be hitting behind, or I guess in front of, Mr. Christian Yelich, so I can get some RBIs and or some runs and some stolen bases. Speaking of Yelich, he's also been cold along with Neto and Agustin Ramirez. Those guys definitely need to pick it up because I need to make a last-minute late season surge. As you can see, the ads and drops. Some of them definitely worked out for us. Some of them we're still trying to figure it out. We added Adrian Hauser. That didn't work out. Lenyn Sosa. That was a great ad. Marcell Ozuna. Great ad. Then finally, relievers Jared Koenig and Louis Varland, both of which picked up a few holds for me. So that was good. Thank you for your services. In order to make room for the guys we picked up, we had to drop some people. One of them being Mr. David Robertson. I don't see him doing much in the Phillies bullpen, even though I thought for sure that would be a lock. That was before they got Johan Duran, so it is what it is. We also dropped Adrian Hauser, Jorge Polanco, picked up Jared Koenig, dropped Jared Koenig. We also dropped Larry Butler. That was tough, but he has just been on a terrible downhill slide, batting like 220, 230, sitting against lefties. It's not a good look, man. The guy we dropped was Tommy Canley because you have forgotten how to pitch. Like, just straight up, you forgot, dude. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, 81.5 points, not bad. Definitely better than the 79 we had before. So let's just continue to add pitchers and hit some home runs and do well. Moving on to the next league, let's talk about the Kent Murphy Dingers. Now, this was a tough week for me. I was playing against the Rootin' Tootin' Rough Riders. Very well-led team, and I was able to pull out a victory. Just barely, though. 6 categories, 4 categories. Ooh, much closer than I wanted it to be. However, I really think my hitters just came out in droves, getting home runs, and Shea Langoliers was my go-to, and coincidentally, the person that I traded Zach Gallen to Rough Riders for, and I got Langoliers, so yeah, he's kind of feeling it. He sent me a text over the weekend and was like, Shea Langoliers must hate me. Now, why would he say that Langy hated him? Well, because he had 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 6 runs scored. That's why. Also, Jose Altuve had 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 7 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases, while Bryce Turang had 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases. We also had 2 saves from Jojo Romero and great pitching performances from Bryan Woo, who had 18 strikeouts and a win and a sub-1 whip, as well as Nick Martinez, who got a win and several strikeouts and a sub-1 whip as well. So 2 guys did great for me starting pitching. Didn't have the best luck everyone else. So you talk about bad pitching. The worst was from Mr. Seth Lugo. That was awful. Those had bad starts from Carlos Rodon, Nick Pivetta, and my boy Adrian Hauser, along with Justin Verlander. But he got his 3,500th strikeout. That's cool. You still got mollywopped. We also had bad outings relief-wise with Mason Miller, Will Vest, and come on. Really, can any of you do anything right? Especially Dennis Santana? Come on! What made me the most mad was Daniel Palencia gave up like 1 or 2 earned runs, and it was a non-save situation. Come on. Non-save situation. Why are you even going in? And due to the As Drops, we focus on pitching because that's what I need the most help in, trying to pick up wins and strikeouts, lower my ERA and whip. Only some of those worked. Justin Verlander did not help. Adrian Hauser did not help. Nick Martinez did help. But then we picked up Blaze Alexander. That's right. Blaze Alexander got me a home run to start this week, so week 20, so that was pretty good. But yeah, I think he got me 2 hits, an RBI and a run on Sunday, so pretty happy with that. We did then, in fact, have to drop Seth Lugo. That was tough. Gosh, that really hurt because I like Seth Lugo. I was able to pick him up from someone else who dropped him, and after he got his contract extension, I mean, after he signed that 2-year deal or however long it was, he's not been good, but he's also like 35, so. We also dropped it Dennis Santana, Nick Martinez, and Will Vest. Will Vest, you seem to have absolutely lost your way in that bullpen, despite Tommy Canley also being in that bullpen with you. How does Tommy Canley get the call over you? For anything. Lost your way, sir. The win this week brought us to 11 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties. I am 2 or 3 games ahead in my division, but I am not at all becoming complacent because I can lose the next 3 or 4, and boom, there goes my chances at playoffs, and I'm crap out of luck. But I also want to confirm that I will have a first-round bye to again relieve some stress in my life, and also just seem to work ahead. By work ahead, I mean look ahead at the games, and look ahead at the starts, and look ahead at the matchups to make sure I'm putting myself in the best possible position to win the next round. I will move on to the Funky Junky Joker Monkeys. Now, week 19 and also looking ahead to week 20, those are pretty much bye weeks for me. And I say that because the 2 guys, they don't manage their team, they don't do anything with it. So as long as I don't go over starts or somehow just completely collapse, I'm going to get some wins. But again, this is me. This is JK. This is absolutely someone who can and will implode, at the drop of a dime. So just don't implode, right? So this week we did win, and yes, I tried to put starts in, but I wasn't as worried about it. Winning score was 449 to 230. My highest score was Bryan Woo with 62, then Jose Altuve with 46, Ernie Clement with 36, and then we had 7 guys with 20 or more, as high as 31. So between 20 and 31, 7 guys. So definitely did well for me. However, there were also some guys that did not do well for me, and again, luckily, I did not need them. In 25 at-bats, Mr. Salvador Perez got me 6 points. In 20 at-bats, Nick Castellanos got me 5.5 points. In 17 at-bats, Mickey Moniak got me 1 point. So, yeah, that's not good. Jeremiah Flaherty got me 5 points, Nicholas Pivetta got me 4 points, and Seth Lugo got me negative 1.5 points. Ooh, cool. As we move to the ads and drops, we did have to drop Nolan Arenado, which was tough. I love Arenado. He's my boy. He's been with me like 3 years now. The drop was Warming Bernabel. Who would name their kid Warming? Where's he from? It's an odd name. Anyway, we're 15-4. I feel good about this upcoming week because, again, it's a bye week for us, really. And then we'll have like 1 or 2 more weeks where we have an opportunity to gain a lead and or overtake the number 1 guy because we finished the year playing each other. So that should be a big week. Hopefully we'll both have buys and it won't really matter, but I would still like to end the season on top. But it's all good. I'd rather end the season in playoffs on top than regular season because you know, that's when I can make money. Now, moving on to another team that's 15-4. We will talk about the Peach Creek Purgatory team. And you might think, well, weren't you 15-3 last week? That's right. I was 15-3 last week, so I lost. I lost this week 772 to 790. And yes, the guy this week could count. There were no starts that anyone went over. However, I just could not get anything going. I made terrible decisions. And this is why I can absolutely implode. Absolutely. But the craziest thing is I am still in first because the commissioner who had that cheap win to tie, and so he went half a game ahead, he lost as well. So I'm still number 1. Whee! Trey Turner was our top scorer with 57 points, followed by Brent Rooker with 52 points, and then Christian Walker with 51, finally found his life. Our top scoring pitcher was Blake Snell with 44. That's not great, not that 44 is not great, but that's the highest scoring pitcher is not great. Now, as we switch on over to the guys that did not do it for us, we have to hit on pitching. Freddie Peralta, you got me 7 points. Max Fried, in your second start, you only got me 5 points. What are y'all doing? Fromber, you got me 0 points. Joe Boyle, you got me 2 points. Then we get to the negatives. That's right, we had negatives. Randy Rodriguez, you got me -5. Ryan Helsley, you got me -9. Brendan Little and Cal Quantrill both also got me -9. So had I just not even started 2 of those guys, we would have tied. And I started any of the 3, we would have won. But there were also a few guys that didn't start that should have been in my lineup. So let's go over those. On Wednesday, Alejandro Kirk was in, but he didn't play. So Victor Caratini could have played and he got me 9 points. Boom, I just cut the lead in half. On Friday, there were 2 guys. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa did not play, so I could have put Otto Lopez in there. And also Lars Newbar didn't play, so I could have put Brenton Doyle. Now, I say I could have put those guys in there because of matchups, and so I would not have wanted, Nate Lowe or Jason Dominguez or any of those. So both of those guys would have gotten me points. Brenton Doyle would have got me 9, and Otto Lopez would have got me 6. And on Sunday, Yoshinobu was in, even though he wasn't pitching, and I have plenty of relief pitchers. So Brian King could have been playing. He got 12 points. Brendan Little, he only got 3 points, but that could have been another 3 points. And then for some odd reason, Brent Rooker wasn't in. Lars Newbar was in. So Brent Rooker would have gotten me 9 points, I believe. So yeah, that right there is 18, 24, 27, 39. Lost out on almost 40 points because of people who didn't start. As we move to the adds and drops, we added Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and we dropped Mr. Joe Musgrove. He's throwing from like 20, 25 feet now, but will not be ready. He wants to be ready before the season's in, but I don't think I trust him, so I'm not gonna have him. So now we're gonna move to the South Harmon Institute of Technology. This week, we didn't do well. We got beat 4-10-4. That's frustrating. So we're no longer first in our division. We're no longer first overall. We dropped to second in our division, third overall, because the other division, of course, they have to have their top guy in there, and I have more wins than him, but whatever. 161 to 121 to 60. That's not bad at all. Definitely could be worse, but not bad. We're just going to continue to work hard. Now let's get to the guys that did well for us, but not quite well enough because we were so close, yet so far away in several categories. Brent Rooker had 17 total bases, 1 home run, 7 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. I didn't expect him to steal bases for me. Matt Olson had 13 total bases, 1 home run, and 5 walks for me. So, again, Not sexy, but somewhat productive. Freddie Freeman had 12 total bases, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 6 walks. Then we also had 2 home runs and 11 total bases each from Lourdes Gurriel and Bryce Strang. We also had 4 holds or saves, that's the same category, from Abner Uribe. And we had 0 blown saves. That's awesome. So we could have given up that category super easy, so I'm very glad we didn't. We couldn't afford to give up anymore. Speaking of giving stuff away, we are giving away runs at a high clip. We had a 4.3 plus ERA and a 1.3, 1.4 whip. That's not going to win any categories. We had 6 losses. That's not going to win any categories. Then, these are the guys' batting average for how they did for me. Eugenio Suarez, 0.095. Ooh. Salvador Perez, 0.091. Ooh. Francisco Lindor, 0.083. Oh. But yeah, those guys did not help me. Now, we did go to the ads drops to try to find some guys that could help us and get us back in the race, and they didn't help. Justin Verlander, Carson Whisenhunt did not do anything for me. Eli White didn't do much of anything for me. Jared Koenig, I think you got me a hold, so that was good. Thank you for that. And Tyler Freeman, you got me like 2 hits, so thank you for actually doing something for me. On the other side, we dropped Verlander and Whisenhunt and Polanco and Lourdes Gurriel. Terrible decision. And Eli White. So, yeah, we very quickly went and grabbed Lourdes Gurriel back because we could have potentially won another category or 2 with him. So, yep. That's what I get for thanking. That's a good thing I don't have to thank when I tell you a 161, 121, and 60 record is not terrible, but could be better. I mean, I have lost 121 categories, and that's not great. But again, we still have a few weeks left, and fingers crossed, I'm able to buck up and get in better positioning so I have a better shot into the playoffs and don't have to play as many games. It'd be nice to get a first round bye, but it is what it is. We'll pull out the 06, 07 Giants, and we'll go wild card. We'll come back and win. Last team we're talking about is the Russell My Gym Jams team. This is a very frustrating league, very frustrating week because we won 7 categories or 5 categories or 4 categories. However, we lost. Yeah, we won, but we lost. We fell from 3rd to 5th in the rankings. Yeah. So we won the week, but lost overall. That's frustrating. That's like the 3rd or 4th time I said that because it doesn't. I get it, but it's frustrating because the whole point was for me to win, and I won, but whatever. Let's go ahead and talk about the guys that did well for me because I don't want to cry. Jose Altuve, my favorite cheater, had 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Lourdes Gurriel and Lenyn Sosa both had 3 extra base hits for me. Lourdes Gurriel only had 2 home runs, but had 9 RBIs. Sosa had 3 home runs and 5 RBIs, so both were very productive for me. One of my favorite stats this week was Brandon Nimmo. He went 0 for 19. You're like, why is that something you like? Why is it an interesting fact? Because he had no other counting stats, but he had 6 walks. But didn't steal a base, didn't walk anyone in, obviously didn't do anything else if I just said there were no other stats, so that's frustrating. We also then did have 2 saves each from Mr. Kyle Finnegan, which that is very interesting. I was not sure he was going to get the saves coming over an already loaded bullpen, but okay. And also Cade Smith. Cade Smith also got us a win this past week, so thank you, sir. As we move to the guys that did not help at all, there was no pitching help. That's just it. No pitching help at all. And then there were some people that were ice cold at the plate. Both Lowe's bros, so Josh Lowe and Nate Lowe. Otto Lopez, oh my goodness. How cold was Brandon Nimmo? 0 for 19. That's how cold he was. CJ Abrams, Mickey Moniak, Nick Castellanos, and Yandy Diaz all were also pretty cold at the plate. All those guys, I believe, had a sub like 150 batting average. Maybe it was like 160 or something. But yeah, they were all pretty bad for me. Ooh. There's only one add and drop this week. We added Jared Koenig and dropped Tommy Kahnle because Tommy Kahnle forgot how to pitch. So overall, I do like the fact that we are doing well enough to still be in 5th place. Top 6 teams go, but again, don't want to be complacent. There's only a 1.5 game difference between 3rd and 5th place. So I'm absolutely still in this, especially with my record. Now, I remember last year we won 138 games. not the benchmark. We went in the rearview mirror, remember? With the win this week, we are now up to 136, 118, and 50. 2 away from last year. Oh, God, yeah, I don't want to be a benchmark, but I want to get past that so badly, just for the sake of saying we're now past last year's win total. So, again, we're still in playoff contention, but I do not want to be complacent. I want to try to win as many as possible because, remember, I got the old team. No one wants to be with the old team. No one wants to trade with the old team, but so we're doing good in everything. We need to pick it up. We need to remain going strong and, more importantly, not collapse. Speaking of collapsing, we do not want to do what the Yankees have done. So I'm going to start off saying that, again, you do not want anyone from the Yankees bullpen. I'm also going to say you don't want anyone from the Diamondbacks bullpen because they are also just imploding, going down, not doing what they need to do. So I am now going to hit on a few guys that could be valuable bullpen-wise. Keegan Akin, he has starting pitcher and relief pitcher eligibility for the Orioles. He should or could be the guy to go to in that bullpen. Now, they did get rid of quite a few guys. I really thought that Kittredge was going to be the guy. He left. Brian Baker, he left. Thinking maybe Yennier Cano. Well, Yennier Cano has proven that he is not ready for those big lights. So Keegan Akin will be the guy. And also because Josh Hader and the cheating Astros are now hurt and are at least not available, Bennett Sousa might be the guy you want to look at. I still personally would rather have Brian King or even Brian Abreu. I love Mr. Brian Abreu. So if he's the guy, I have him in several leagues. But Sousa has gotten the last few saves with Hader being out. So gonna be something to look at. I mentioned him last week, but again, saves guy. Jojo Romero was great for the Cardinals like 2 years ago. Setup guy. This year, another Cardinals guy that left now is with the Rangers, Phil Maton. I'm not sure how to say his name, but that guy is another setup / closer that you could target in your leagues. Now moving on to some hitters. Don't know what got into him, but Ryan Jeffers. He has been on a tear, like 2 or 3 hits in like the last like 4 or 5 games. The Twins are doing decently well, not as hot as some other teams. They're doing decently well. They have some hitters in that lineup. Byron Buxton's coming back. They got Luke Keeschel. He's doing great stuff. I think yesterday was the first game he didn't have a hit in, and like he had like multiple hits, like 3 or 4 the last like week or something. So those guys could be something to look at, especially Jeffers as a catcher. And that's not a sexy position. I always target good catchers, but Jeffers could be a guy to have, for the foreseeable future, especially if the Twins are going to continue to try to make a run, even though Cole Sands is just awful as their closer. So, yeah, not good. We're going to hit on him again. I picked him up in a few leagues. You need to pick him up too. Lenyn Sosa. He has first, second, and third base eligibility. That's like the only guy for the White Sox I would think about having. I mean, I would rather have him than Luis Robert. Or Luis Robert. Don't want him. Even though Robert steals bases, nope. Give me Lenyn Sosa. Another team that's surging, and this guy could get a little more playing time, especially with the injuries from South Frelick. Isaac Collins. He has been a freaking spitfire for the past few weeks. And he's gotten a little more playing time with Frelick being out. And then, of course, you have Christian Yelich, who's an old man and, sits out a little bit here and there. So Isaac Collins could be a platoon player, eventually. But for now, with, Frelick being, I won't say on the mend, but because he's played the last few games, he's not stealing bases. And I'm going against Skeens tonight. So I have him starting just for the sake of starting him because he's got almost a 300 batting average. So why not, right? But yeah, if he's not stealing bases, if he's not going to be as productive, then Isaac Collins is your man. The last guy I'm going to talk about is a pitcher, but he's not like the main guy in your rotation, and rightfully would not need to be the main guy in your rotation. If he is, you're probably not winning any leagues. But here's the thing. Tyler Alexander. If you have done baseball, and if you pick up on the cheat codes like the bulk relievers, if you have pitching caps, He was playing for the Rays, and then he went over to somebody. I don't know who he went to, but now he's with the White Sox. You're like, dude, we already talked about White Sox. We don't want anyone from there. Well, hold on. Because Tyler Alexander pitches in bulk, and while he isn't necessarily the sexiest pitcher, he can pick up a cheap win if for some odd reason the White Sox are winning when he comes in, or he can just pick up you some points. And I mean, his ERA ain't terrible, his whip's not terrible. It's not sexy, so he's not going to win you the league, but he might win you a week. He could also implode and lose you the week. But what I'm saying is, for what he's doing, especially in the points league, like. Yesterday he pitched like 3 1/3 of an inning, 4 1/3 of an inning, got me like 30 points because he had some strikeouts, no walks, no or no earned runs. So he's doing what he's supposed to do, keeping the other team off the board, but he's getting points. So if you want to be strategic, look at that. That's gonna do it for the recap. Thank you for joining in, especially this long. This is week 19, guys. I'm excited. We're getting football up as well. I already have a few guys saying, hey, like, let's get our league back up. Like, when's this happening? So I'm excited, but we are going to finish the job here in baseball because we have worked too hard to get to this point. Say, whoa, pigskin's coming. Let's focus on that. So again, I hope you all are doing well in your leagues. We cannot complain because 1, nobody would listen, and 2, don't nobody know the pain that we go through as fantasy managers. So I'm right there with you, brother and sister. We know each other. Again, thank you for joining, and as always, this is JK. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.